Mercedes-AMG Interview Lounge.
Caller 100 always wins on our show. Caller 101, I always feel sorry for caller 101. Don't you guys?
Yeah. And 99. Yeah. 99 I feel bad for, too. Yeah.
Just for the heck of it. I think line 23 is caller 101. Let's see who it is. Hello, caller 101.
I'm caller 101. Am I caller 101?
Who's this? Is this Dr. Oz?
It's Dr. Oz. Did I win? Did I win anything?
Dr. Oz, I'm so sorry. You did not win $1,000. I'm so sorry.
I never get to win.
Yes, you do. You're the winner. Dr. Oz, how you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. You know, it's interesting. I was listening to your call before, and there was a great study they did of people who are lucky and not lucky, and they had them line up, and they sent them down this path, and they put $100 bills on the ground, and the lucky in all their walking paths, and the lucky people found the $100, and the ones who weren't lucky didn't find it, and it highlighted that if you're looking for luck, you'll find things that are lucky. And it's not always the case. Bad things happen, of course, through no volition of our own. But sometimes luck favors the prepared mind.
That's why if I ever meet someone who's lucky like you, Dr. Oz, have you noticed? I always rub lucky people. And you always seem to enjoy it when I rub you. So maybe when social distancing is less, I will come over and rub you. Is that okay? Cool?
Please do. I'll be waiting.
Dr. Oz loves a good rub, like on the belly, like a dog. Anyway, before we get into your very important message, we're going to talk about when you should or should not go to the hospital or call your doctor. We'll get into that in a second. This is something we need to know. Dr. Fauci is saying that there may be an end to shaking hands after this is all said and done with. What do you think about that?
He's right. I don't think handshakes have a future in America, and frankly, most of the world. And you think about this, most of us have different ways of greeting culturally. Some folks kiss on both cheeks, some folks rub their nose, not in the Me Too movement anymore, but in general, culturally, that was something that was acceptable. Handshakes were a way of showing you weren't armed. Folks do fist bumps, all kinds of things. But when you statistically look at the amount of bacteria and virus you transfer with a firm handshake, it's 10 times more, for example, than a fist bump. So you sit there and say, okay, is that really worth it? Especially if you're seeing a lot of people, you're shaking a lot of hands, and that's how people pick up small viruses, common colds, etc. So Fauci's right. I don't see how we could go back to the good old days. It's like TSA at airports. Before 9/11, we all fly through there and never think about it. Now it's sort of the norm. You sort of expect it, and you actually feel more comfortable when people are studied because they know there's someone's checking just in case.
Wow. So we have to replace it with something. Is it the fist bump? Yeah. Is it the hand on my favorite thing is the hand on the heart. Like you put your hand on your heart, go, oh my God, it's so nice to see you.
I think namaste, the little prayer pose. It's going to be something where we don't touch each other. And if you really want to, an elbow bump. I don't think it'll be a fist bump, but I'll tell you why. I tried doing that for a couple of days. It hurts your fist because people come at you at different speeds. Your knuckles rub. I get abraded. I felt like I was dragging my knuckles on the ground. My primate version of me. I don't think that has legs.
Gandhi, what should we use in place of the handshake?
I think a deep bow is always good, like a very dramatic all the way down.
Yeah, it depends on how much respect you have for them.
Yeah. And then I think there'll be more head injuries because everybody will be bowing at the same time.
There is that.
Hitting, and then they'll be at the hospital.
No. I think I don't. We have to get into your important call. I know you're a busy guy, but I vote for the curtsy. We should all curtsy each other. Okay, that's my thought. I'll move on. Dr. Oz, I remember, you and I went to a birthday party together, and that was the last social event I attended. Was that the last one you went to as well?
I was the MC at Tony Robbins' 3,000-plus birthday party in L.A., and that was the last social event I went to. But that was an event that I'm quite certain affected a lot of people because it was crowded. There were people in it's like a mosh pit, people jumping up and down. We raised $20 million to stop sex trafficking, all these wonderful people donating all this money and probably getting sick while doing it. And at the time, we didn't really appreciate it. I mean, there was so much naivete around this. And this was it was the last day of February. His birthday is February 29th. And I remember thinking Mary Menendez and I were the MCs, and I'm sure, if either of us had it, we'd have definitely given it to each other because there's no way not to. And I think that an event like that won't take place for another year at least.
I hope not. I mean, I'm used to. I'm living alone now, and I'm afraid to go back into a crowd. I don't. Seeing another person is like, whoa! I don't want to get near them. All right, Dr. Oz, let's talk about it. At what point should I get on the phone or have someone phone for me if I'm too sick? At what point should we be getting in touch with an emergency room or a doctor?
All right. So the key thing is your breathing. What this virus does is it somehow paralyzes the ability of our red cells to carry oxygen around. It irritates our lungs, and there's these sort of classic appearances that it creates. So as a physician, you can recognize it when you see it, but as a patient, the only thing you're going to notice is that you're extremely fatigued and you're just having trouble catching your breath. All the other myriad of findings with this virus, which are interesting, and I'll review them, aren't that critical. And none of those seem to correlate with the worst outcomes. For example, in one recent study, there was 80% plus of people, that's 4 out of 5 people, lose their sense of smell or taste. Now, that's a shocking number. That's sometimes the only symptom you'll have. In fact, one of the ways we may screen people, because as we open New York back up again eventually, we're going to have to be able to do rapid screening so we can tell if people are sick or not and help them quarantine themselves. So one of the things you might do is looking at these rapid smell tests. Do you smell this? It can be done mechanically, and then people can say, well, I don't smell that anymore. Well, then you need to get tested for COVID-19. Temperature is the other big symptom that people seem to have. And most people who have symptoms, and not everyone has symptoms, right? At least a quarter of people don't have anything. They don't even know they're sick. They can still be spreading virus, but they don't know they're sick. And they're obviously not in trouble. They're going to do fine. The people who have temperatures tend to have more of an issue because their body's waging a battle. And they will often progress into this fatigue, shortness of breath group more rapidly. And then finally the cough, that hacking cough. It's dry. Nothing comes up, right? You're not getting any sputum up. It's not a classic old-fashioned cold where you have to have Kleenexes around you. It's not a runny nose either, which is how you can differentiate it from asthma. Asthma and allergies are very different. Allergies are nose up, runny nose, runny eyes, etc. Asthma, obviously, you'll episodically feel a little short of breath. But with this, you'll actually have shortness of breath that persists. That's when you call the ER. You don't collect $200. You don't pass go. You just go right to you call your doctor and meet them wherever they are.
Okay. Call your doctor and meet them where, and your doctor will tell you where to go and what to do. So if it's in your breathing. Breathing is number one. If you're having difficulty breathing, it's time to call someone, right?
Yeah. Well, you should call somebody anyway. If you have any of the symptoms I've mentioned, you should call because they're going to give you advice. And as an example, there's some medications they might prescribe to. They'll give you advice about how to treat a fever. For example, I don't go after a fever. In our family and medically, I think this is sound. A little bit of fever I like because it gives your body the chance to kill virus because virus hates the hot weather, the hot in your body. But the fever won't kill your cells. That's why it's adaptive. That's why it's valuable for us. So letting yourself get a fever up to 101 is a reasonable thing to do. However, once you get past that, you get uncomfortable, and there's a little bit of data that you're better off taking acetaminophen, which is Tylenol, than a Motrin, if that happens. And even though I don't think that data is very strong, and I suspect over time we're going to get rid of that recommendation. But for now, a lot of docs are saying, just favor the Tylenol till we figure it out.
Okay, so 101, if you go over 101, try to treat it with Tylenol, and if that's not working, then you need to call someone. All right. What's your question for Dr. Oz? Gandhi.
Okay, so I've been reading that trying to boost your immune system right now might not be a great idea because it can make your immune system attack itself. Is that true? Should we just be kind of leaving our immune systems alone at the moment and avoiding the immune system boosters?
They're separate issues. I would definitely boost your immune system now in any way you can to keep it strong enough to be able to fight the virus back so the virus never gets in your body. So, for example, vitamin D is huge. Vitamin D you can get from the sun. You have to put it on your face and your back and your legs. You need a lot of skin area, but on a pretty day like today in New York and much of the country, you can go outside and just get a little bit of 15 minutes of sunlight without sunblock on your back. And that'll give you a vitamin D and a lot of other chemical compounds that are valuable that strengthens your immune system. If you don't want to go outside, take 1,200 international units of vitamin D. And that was on our protocol sheet that you guys sent out for me way at the beginning of this, because that's the one thing we believe can actually enhance your immune system that you can put in your mouth. However, sleeping is the best thing overall to strengthen your immune system. And yeah, you're good at it. Exactly. Go to sleep. Right now, fall asleep as I'm speaking. And then the other thing I was going to point out is once you get the infection, sometimes the body overreacts to it. And because of that, you start waging a civil war in your body. And the side effect of that civil war is more damaging than the actual effort to kill the virus. Then what you're saying is true, but that's not what we're not talking about what things people can do on their own. Doctors will often give you medications to block your body overreacting. These are very specific targeted medications, but only given in the hospital and only given to people who are really sick.
Gotcha.
And my question is about this, not having any symptoms. So they're saying social distancing, probably going through May, whatever. If people don't have symptoms and you don't know they have it, then how can we ever stop social distancing? How will we ever know if somebody has it or not?
That's a profound question. It's the kind of question Elvis would never ask me. This is this is the fundamental. No, it is such an important issue. I don't think there's any way for us to end social distancing. There's no way for us to pretend that older folks who, let's say over the age of 65, who have a chronic condition like a heart problem or high blood pressure or diabetes, are safe with exposure to large numbers of people for that very reason, because we won't know. And the person who's infected won't know. So there's no way to protect you. So here's what I would argue. The vaccine will take care of this problem, but we're 15 months away from there. We're going to have to develop a new normal, which is strange, but older folks with comorbidities have to stay by themselves as much as possible. We're going to have to help them to make sure they don't get bumped around in shopping marts and they can get food and medications and all the things they need to live with, but they're not going to be able to expose themselves to large numbers of people because there's no way to guarantee they won't get infected. Younger populations, because they do overwhelmingly well, I mean, most have almost no issues. You feel sick for a couple of days, but you recover pretty quickly. That population was going to have to go back, and then as soon as any of those people feel like they're ill, they'll quickly be told that they're at risk. They and all the people they've been in contact with will have to put them back in quarantine for 1 to 2 weeks, depending on what's going on, and then they'll come back and rejoin the workforce. Otherwise, you're going to have to shut the city down, because what happened in this country over the past month is basically we pulled the emergency brake. It's not like we fixed the problem. We just pulled the emergency brake. It was a move we had to take because of the devastating consequences we would have faced. And now we're probably going to have 60,000 people die instead of 1 million people, which is good. But in order to prevent us being right back where we started from, especially as the weather gets cold again, when the virus probably will make its rounds, as it often these viruses tend to, we're going to want to be able to aggressively go after these problems and squelch them, right? Contain them where they are. But there's no way to do that if older folks are exposed, because when they get sick, and we face it at the hospital, they end up in the ICU for weeks and often don't make it.
Wow.
Look, you know what? We could keep you on all day. We love you so much, but I know, Dr. Oz, you have so much to do. I'm going to take that coronavirus survival protocol list and put that on my Elvis Duran social on Instagram right now to remind everyone. And I want to say just real quick, we are seeing a few numbers go down. This is the time to do what we're doing more. I want to congratulate every single American who's doing the right thing and doing the social distancing. You're seeing a payoff, but now's the time to take it more seriously than ever. We love you, Dr. Oz. If you need anything, if you need to get the word out, you call us, okay?
God bless you. Thank you for keeping everyone upbeat, because you should be. And again, good news today. The number of hospitalizations is slowing down. The number of ICU admissions, the number of people getting breathing tubes. These are all the numbers we should focus on. I know the deaths are petrifying and panic-worthy and they're tragic, but they're a reflection of mistakes we made weeks ago. I think we're headed in the right direction. I want to echo what you're saying and add the healthcare workers in there, because I know you guys, I talk to you all the time. You're down, you're exhausted. There's an APB out, and Elvis, you're all over the country, so I'll say it here. I'm looking for dialysis nurses. So if you're a nurse who knows how to run a kidney machine, please go to droz.com. I'll pay to bring you here, pay to put you up. You'll work at the hospitals in New York. We are desperate in that area because we don't have enough people. Now we have machines, no people. So please come help.
Wow. Dialysis nurses needed right now. We love you, Dr. Oz. I'll talk to you later, okay? Have a good day.
God bless you, my friend. Bye-bye.